What up, everybody, and welcome to Drop and Give Me 20 with Phil Risson. I am Phil Risson, and we got an amazing guest with me, my boy, Hello O'Shea. What's up?
Hey, what's up, man?
Chilling, man. Chilling. You know what? I'm going to move this mic over here because, I like looking at your face, you know?
Wow.
What, you're a good-looking man. You got the skin glowing, you know?
Thank you.
I've seen you on the Instagram, you know?
Yeah,
You
yeah.
set up the lighting and everything.
I try.
Yeah, You're doing your thing.
I try.
How's life, my friend?
Life is good. Just, staying focused, doing what I have to do music-wise. And I've just been blessed, and grateful for the opportunities that I've been getting as of late. And, that's pretty much it. So life is good.
That's dope, man. I mean, yeah, I've definitely have noticed since I met you, which was relatively soon ago, even just in the last 2 or 3 months, I've seen a lot of your Instagram seems to be blowing up a little bit more.
Yeah.
A lot of your YouTube. You released a new project. Am I right?
No, not a new project, but the project is, I released not too long ago. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry. Yeah. Well, I was looking through your stuff on Spotify and everything, so everything kind of hits me at once, you know?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I'm going through everything, but I wanted to say what I really love about your stuff. The music is great, but especially what I love is the cover art.
Oh.
And all that stuff. Do you make that yourself?
Yeah, I do. Thanks, man. Yeah, I never really get too many compliments on the cover art, so yeah, thanks.
No, it's legit. I'm some of you may not know, O'Shea is an R&B singer. Would you say more neo soul? How would you, fuck it. How would you describe yourself? What genre do you think you're in?
Yeah, I think you're on the money. I think neo soul, R&B,
Music to fuck to.
yeah. Yes. Yes. Please do. And name your baby O'Shea.
There you go.
It's unisex. It could be any child.
Yeah, it could be anything. You know what I mean? It could be a boy, a girl, or
It's a
Ice
unisex.
Cube's last name.
This is that's actually where I got the name from. My mother got the name from. And it's always funny to me because I always look at my dad like, how you gonna let her name your first child after another man that she had a crush on? Like, what's wrong with you?
Well, you know what? Maybe you were conceived during, a viewing of Are We There Yet? They were like, yo, this shit slaps.
No, bro. I'm older than that movie. That would not have made sense. That would maybe to fuck the police.
They're like, this nigga's a mogul. We need to give some of this blessing to our son.
Yeah.
Think of it that way.
Yeah, it's an honor. I'm glad. It's a good name. It's a good name.
It's a great name, man.
Yeah.
It's a great name, and it's a name that's only gonna get more recognition, I think, as time goes on. Because, like we were saying, man, I think a lot of things have been happening for you, even in just the last couple years. This is the thing with me and him. We've only known each other for about 2 months, but the way we met each other was through a organization called APCA, which is basically for young artists trying to debut and kind of audition for different colleges so that they could tour all over the country. And I met O'Shea while I was, shuffling around trying to, give everybody pamphlets and all that stuff. I called him in over there, and we started talking and really getting to know each other. And that's when you told me that you actually worked with Kota the friend and everything.
Yeah.
Who I'm a huge fan of, and that's when I recognized you in the Four Color Boys video and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about that, because I was watching a podcast with him, and he actually talked about you and about a couple other people in your community and everything. So what's the deal? What's in the water over here, yo? Is it just something that you guys just always supported each other? Did you just have a really, really good music program that got you into it? What's the deal?
Well, as far as Brooklyn and there being something in the water, for sure. That's for sure. There was a point in time where there was a lot of, dope acts coming out of Brooklyn, young acts. If you remember Pro Era, if you remember, not just remember, but also phony people who are, they doing their thing, they're a band. And it was just I guess 2010, there was a lot going on. And so we were always just inspired by the energy, as far as that goes. Now, as far as meeting Kota, I met him in high school. We both went to Brooklyn High School of the Arts. And so he was in band, he played, the trumpet, I believe, and I was in the orchestra. I played the violin.
Yeah.
And he was a grade older than me. And, at the time, I was shorter than him,
Really?
Yeah. I was shorter than he was, and he just had a dope energy. He had an energy that kind of said he knew who he was, and you knew what he was about. And he was just somebody that I looked up to, even through high school. He was somebody I looked up to because as a friend and as somebody I just respected because he was hustling. He's been doing his thing since before he's been Kota. So throwing shows, just I don't know. I always knew he was going to do something and be somebody. And just support your friends. So I was just somebody that always supported if he had something going on, then I'll go check it out and listen to the music and things like that. And so I remember this one time in high school where he was about to throw a show and he needed a guitar player. And he was like, yo, can you do it? Can you play guitar? And I hesitated. He was like, never mind. He was like, never mind. I was like, okay. So I was like, man, I really second guessed myself. I really second guessed maybe it was an opportunity to play guitar and, or something like that. And then, ever since then, like, I kind of threw away that type of energy. So when he would hit me up, he'd be like, yo, can you come through today and sing? Yeah.
You just hop on it.
It'd just be that day, it's just, I gotta, and so that's how I just started moving with it. And, grateful for the opportunities that, he's given me. And, he's just a dope person. He's a friend.
That's dope, man.
I've been seeing him grow for a long time, and I'm just proud of him, happy for him.
That's fucking legit, man. I mean, like, I kind of, fell in love with his stuff, but honestly, if it wasn't for you being involved with that, we probably wouldn't even like met, or our interaction wouldn't have really resonated.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's always kind of an interesting thing when you see kind of paths cross. And, I saw him on an interview kind of talking about how you and him used to break into the music room in high school and everything. Yeah. Do you think, like, kind of doing, not doing what you're told, breaking the rules a little bit is essential to being an artist?
I think so, yeah. On a certain level, yeah. Sometimes you have to break boundaries to create or to get into spaces where you can create, where you can be free. I think, being creative on a level means to be free. And so when you have certain restrictions that come up and you're trying to be free, you end up breaking the rules sometimes. Yeah. Not necessarily that you're thinking like, I got to break the rules to be, an artist, but more so that, certain boundaries come up and you're trying to get free, you're going to do that. And so, it was a lot of us who, we just wanted to play music. We just wanted to be in the music room, be in the piano room. We just wanted to jam and write and rap and sing. And so nothing's really going to stop you from doing that when that's what you want to do, So that was the energy.
Well, that's dope, man. And I kind of wonder, too, like, I think you're right. It's not that you necessarily have the intent of breaking the rules. You're like, I'm going to, anyone who says, like, sits down and is like, I'm going to write a life-changing song, you're probably not going to do that. Right. You know what I mean? Things happen organically. You just have to have that energy and things kind of progress. And it can kind of be the same thing with comedy. And you were just talking about, your hesitation when Kota asked you to play the guitar and that shit. And that definitely resonates with me because I've been doing comedy 12 years now. And I've known I wanted to do comedy ever since I was a little kid, But so many things, kind of made me hesitate over and over and over again. Like, I started out when I was 18, which a lot of people think is early. But truthfully, if I was real with myself, I would have started out when I was like 14. I wanted to be a writer. I didn't get started actually trying to write until I was like 25. All these things. So was hesitation kind of a big element in your life until you had that kind of guitar moment?
Yeah, hesitation, just self-doubt, things like that. It's always a battle. It's not to say that, certain things don't come up and you're just like, sometimes you freeze a little bit of you think and you got to kind of push yourself out of
Yeah.
that and just like, no, I'm just going to do it. So, I think that definitely inspired me to just move. Like even with shows, there was a point in time where, certain shows and opportunities would come around and I would hesitate and I wouldn't do it. And I wouldn't feel sure of myself. Now, every time I get a performance, somebody asks me, do you want to perform? I just say yes.
Yeah.
I say yes and figure it out later. Even how I got to meeting you,
Yeah.
the artist hit me up a few days before, like, can you do this? And I'm just like, yes.
Yeah.
And sometimes that yes, just say yes and figure it out later.
Yeah,
And you're going to get your blessings. And so that's a lot of times what happened with, Kota hitting me up and like, yo, I need, some vocals. Yes.
Yeah. I feel you, man, because, I think the big thing about, taking that plunge is that even if it doesn't work out, it is a learning experience.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And as somebody who's been doing comedy for a long time, I've had plenty of learning experiences.
Uh-huh.
Like shit blowing up in my face, and it's just like, you know what? You take that and you use it, and you become better.
Mm-hmm.
And case in point, when we were at APCA and everything like that,
Mm-hmm.
that was fun, but also I didn't really know how to market myself. I knew how to market myself online,
Mm-hmm.
but to sit there and make a booth, I kind of just thought like people just perform and that's what it is.
Yeah.
And then I'm seeing niggas have bobbleheads.
Yo, it was crazy.
Mugs
Yeah.
and shit.
Yeah,
And I'm
yeah.
like, I'm funny.
Yeah. Yeah.
But no matter what, it's a learning experience. So, what are some learning experiences that you went throughout your music career?
Man, the whole thing's a learning experience. Speaking of marketing, I think there's a lot of energy, creatives put into, as you spoke about, like the cover art and putting things together and putting together the music, and like that's great, but there's a whole other side to that, that needs to be tended to. There's emails that need to be sent. There's things that need to be done ahead of time, and so I think that's what some of the learning curve that I've kind of been like dealing with and seeing like how do I really push this out and how do I really galvanize the opportunities that I have. And so it's not like I can't pinpoint anything specific, but to say that there's just more to it than the creation process and the marketing and just how you go about getting your stuff out there is really 80% of it. It's the biggest part of it.
Bro, and it's honestly for me, and I think for a lot of creatives, it's kind of the hardest part.
Yes.
I think that's why, people want managers and all this stuff, or you kind of want more of a machine behind you.
Yeah.
Because it's like when you're just creating and you're kind of somebody who isn't very well known yet, you're running with ankle weights on.
Yeah.
It's like you have to, you are your manager, you are your agent, you are your marketing person, you are the copywriter, the social media guy, every single job. On top of that, you have to put out the illest shit so niggas notice you at all. You know what I mean? And then you can get those things.
That's a fact. A fact.
So it's just like, so kind of hard and so tough. And I was wondering, because I really do like your kind of marketing, the way you push yourself. What are some of the things that you do to kind of get your name out there? Give me some industry secrets.
Honestly,
I'm here for the viewers.
I don't have any industry secrets. I would just say the things that I've seen, I would just say consistency. And I think that's definitely something that in a way I struggle with, but in a way I didn't,
Gotcha.
In a way I was still kind of visible, but I haven't been visible the way that I am now or the way that I'm, pushing myself to be. And so I would just say, when it comes to using the tools that we have as far as like the social medias and things like that, is that, consistency. When I see that I'm putting something out more often and more frequently and that I'm, I find myself around, more of the right people. I find myself getting seen more and yeah, I think that's really key. So, and as far as any secrets, I don't have any secrets.
Yeah, I mean, I think the main secret that anyone will tell you is really just consistency.
Yeah,
Consistency, and then as you go on, you kind of just learn how to streamline all your consistency.
that's a fact.
But we enough industry talk. We wetted everybody's whistle for a second. Let's rewind it. And kind of really crack you open as a person. Like we were talking about earlier before this show. I have two friends, Jermaine and Manny, who kind of I guess remembered you. From way back in the day.
It's crazy.
I know, which is wild. It's such a small place. Like, that's what I love about New York. It's one of the biggest city. It's the biggest city in the country, I believe. But it's still like the smallest fucking world you could ever be in. Everywhere you walk by, you'll meet somebody who knows the person who knows you.
Yeah.
And this, that, and the third. So they were telling me about your mother and everything. And was your mother somebody who really like inspired you as far as like getting into music and acting and stuff like that, or was it more of you and then she was like, all right, go ahead, shine?
I think my mother believed in me, and not just me, my brother as well. No, it's actually my father who really introduced me to music per se.
Wow, okay.
He was an aspiring rapper at one point, before I was born, or things like that. So he just had a love for music, and so I would listen to him rap, and then, I would want to rap because also, honestly, I started out rapping more so than singing.
Nice.
For example, not to bring him up again, but, when I met Kota, I wasn't even a singer.
Yeah.
I didn't sing. I couldn't sing. And so that's something that always surprises him, like, yo, where'd this voice come from? How did you do it? Yeah. So I didn't start singing until like after high school. So
wow, okay.
I was more so like, a rapper, and I still rap. Some of my songs have raps in it, and things like that. But my father, he got me a guitar. He got me some lessons with the guitar, and so that was like the first instrument I learned. And from there, going to the school where I met, Manny and Jermaine, as you mentioned. I feel like that was like my first art school in a way.
Yeah.
It was elementary school, but it wasn't an art school.
Yeah.
But there was something really artful happening, and it's like we had these plays, and there was this teacher named Mr. Truitt, who was just putting together these elaborate, like, it's weird, like how elaborate these plays were for elementary school. It makes no sense.
See, shit like that. That's why, as like a young like Jersey kid and shit, I always like envy like New York kids because like where I grew up, and I grew up in a nice town, like suburban area and all that type of shit. But where I'm from, they don't really value arts like for anything at all. Like the band, we actually have a crazy good jazz band. Like they win like state championships and shit like that. But that is the one small sliver of shit, and everything else is just kind of like they didn't have faculty reaching out to students and be like, hey, try auditioning for the play or do this or do that. So I always envy those kids that like you could get out of middle school and then like test into like a fucking art school. Like that's fucking insane to me.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. And I would say, like I said, in high school, I went to Brooklyn High School, of the arts. But I feel like elementary school was like I said, the first introduction, and like I said, with the plays. And I said, and somebody mentioned about my mother being there. She would definitely push us, and hey, go do the play and things like that. And so I feel like she had the most belief. In a way. So I'm grateful for that. But yeah, from there, even the music teacher at the elementary school, when it was time for me to audition for Brooklyn High School of the Arts, he helped me out. He helped me learn the song, or helped me practice learning the song that I was going to use to audition on guitar.
And what's this guy's name again?
No, that's Mr. Truitt. He was the drama department, but there was a music teacher named Mr. Creflo or Crunchlow. I mess up his name
Okay.
sometimes. And
Well,
so
shout out to Mr. Pruitt and or Mr. Truitt.
Mr. Truitt,
And
yeah.
shout out to Mr. Creflo.
Yeah. So
That's legit, man. I also wanted to talk. You were saying your dad started as a rapper. I think that's so like amazing now that rap has gotten that old, where there's a dude your age, and you're talking about how your father wanted to be an aspiring rapper. Where it's like you listen to rapper interviews, you know now. You know, I watch Drink Champs all the time or something like that, and they'll talk about like, oh yeah, my father was a jazz musician or some shit.
yeah.
You know, now it's like, oh, this nigga was a rapper. You know, it didn't really work out, but he showed me how to do that.
Yeah,
and this,
yeah,
that, and
yeah.
Third. So, you know, that's really interesting. Like, where do you think, you know, or what do you think about where rap and kind of the culture has gone, you know, lately?
So this is like a something that you can divide up into two different types of ways, the way I can look at it, because there's hip hop and then there's rap. You know what I'm saying? So like rap, you know, hip hop has, you know, taken a certain type of turn, but rap definitely has evolved in its own way.
And can you define those two definitions? Because you always hear those conversations like, are hip hop and rap the same thing? Yes, they are. No, they're not. I agree and disagree.
Yeah.
So what can you say that you call hip hop and what you call
I would
rap?
say hip hop was a certain, you know, I guess in the beginning was a certain type of state of mind, and there was different elements, you know. Hopefully I don't mess up all the elements, but you know, there was, you know, b-boying, which is dancing.
Yeah.
There's graffiti, you know, doing, you know, the art when they used to tag the trains and tag the walls, and
Yeah.
so it's a movement, visual art, and then of course there's the music.
Yeah.
And there's like two other elements that I'm probably missing out on, but it was community, you know what I'm
Gotcha.
saying? And it was
So
it was like that. And then when hip hop kind of got mainstream, it got put into this you know, it just got changed around a little bit.
definitely,
you know.
and it got diluted a bit. over time,
Yeah,
too, and
definitely diluted.
It seemed as a moneymaker.
Yeah.
You know, because for a very, very long time, people thought hip hop wasn't even viable, really, and it was just almost like dubstep or some shit.
Yeah,
it just kind
yeah.
of came out of nowhere, and all the kids were into it, but they're like, bruh, this shit ain't gonna be here in like 10 years. And then 10 years went by, and it kept getting bigger and bigger, and rock kept getting smaller and smaller. And they didn't know what to do, and you know that's how we got into the bling bling era of the early 2000s.
Yeah, so now hip hop is used as like the culture, and hip hop is the fashion. Well, that was the other aspect. It was also fashion, but yeah, now it's like, you know, what are people saying? What are, you know, the trendy words to say? That's hip hop.
So you think hip hop is more the umbrella term
Yeah,
for the thing, and the rap is more like the core of like lyricism and musicality.
yeah. And not necessarily lyricism all the time.
But you just saying, yeah, I mean, okay.
Yeah, but
But just
definitely
the music.
Yeah.
Rap is more the core music.
Yeah, rap is.
I feel you.
is
Okay,
rap
all right,
is
all
that.
right.
And then, you know,
Well, who are you listening to right now?
well,
Or like, fuck this. What's your top 5?
my top 5.
Yeah.
Jesus.
A hard question to an even harder question. This is what we do on Drop and Give Me 20.
Yeah, that is a hard question. And it's changed over some time. And so I would have to say 3 Stacks.
Okay.
3 Stacks is up there. I would have to say KRS-One is up there.
Okay. All right.
This
Real
is
old school.
This
okay.
is like it's gonna be a weird list
That's-
because I
already like it.
You know, I'm gonna say Busta Rhymes
Okay.
is up there. So that's 3. At a point it was Eminem, but it's like hard, you know. Nah, he still could be up there just because of what he's done. But like right now, it's just like I don't. He's still got, you know, bars, and he's still doing
He
wordplay.
just doesn't know how to fit into the culture right now.
Yeah, and
I think that's a very
his flow's gotten very mechanical.
too mechanical. He almost sounds like an AI,
Yeah, he's
like
just,
rapping, where it's like, yes, like musically, if you were to look at this on like a chart or some
Yeah,
shit,
yeah.
yes, you're doing exceptional.
Yeah.
But like as a human being, he's like
Yeah, so that's the reason. But I'll still, he could still,
oh yeah.
yeah. And then I would say me. Nah, I'm just joking. Yeah, Lauryn Hill.
Lauryn Hill. Okay.
Yeah, let's put Lauryn Hill in there.
Little sleeper hit out there. Okay.
Yeah, you got to. I don't know. She, as far as an MC, Lauryn Hill, she's nice.
I feel you. Okay. I like her shit. I mean, I've only listened to kind of the one album and then her album with the Fugees and stuff like that. But I've always thought she was definitely very, very talented. I mean, like you, I think my top 5 definitely changes a lot. Especially because, I listen to a lot of different artists. Like I listen to a lot of more like modern artists now. I think that's the one thing with hip hop, especially that seems to be changing, which I really like, is that whatever generation people came up with, they just stuck to that type of rap, and then they thought the future generation and the past generation were dog shit. And it was just like, whatever. Like, you give love to the golden era or whatever, but, then that's that.
Yeah.
And I noticed that, and people are very, very, like, harsh. Trust me, I'm on the hip-hop discussion group message boards and shit, and people are like that. But now it seems to be changing where people are kind of, giving big ups to a lot of these younger guys and stuff, and that seems to be cool. So is there anybody younger or kind of, like, in the newer... sector that you fuck with or nah?
He was like, man, nobody knows these names, man. But I would definitely say that the K Dots, the J Coles, even Drake's pen has been pretty dope. I haven't listened to too much of the newer artists like that, to be honest. Not on purpose, or anything. Not because I'm like, I don't like that. That's not hip hop. It's not because of that. It's because, honestly, on a day-to-day, I don't listen to a lot of music.
Really?
Yeah.
You're one of those guys who kind of just creates a lot of it, and then from then you kind of step away, is what you're saying.
Yeah. So, I kind of step away, or, there was a point in time where I've been listening to a little bit more music now, but it hasn't been like hip hop or rap. But there was a time where I was like, I don't want to listen to any music because you end up creating some of the same things, or you come up with the same ideas.
Got you. Okay.
And so it's just like, to kind of really do something different, I kind of have to filter that out sometimes.
I get that and I understand that. I kind of have. It's funny because comedians can kind of be in the same way too. Like, I know certain types of comedians who don't watch comedy. That happens a lot in comedy where it's like people who do comedy act like they don't like comedy, and that's supposed to be like a cool thing. And I'm like, nigga, I love this shit.
Yeah.
I love every part about it. I love the art form. I love the places we have to go to do it. I love fighting against crowds. I love crowds that love me. I love all of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Sometimes I just think it's like, it's kind of pompous. I'm not even talking about you, but in the comedy world, it's just like, I think it's just one of those things where it's just so many people now, because creating content is big. It's like so many people now are almost like spoiled, about the content that they create and also about the scenes that they're in. And you think about it and you're like, bro, if this was the 80s or 90s, you wouldn't even be here.
Right.
It's because it's like, because you get shown everything on Instagram and this, that, and the third, you think, oh, I can do that. So then you got into this thing and people are just as weird as you are and you get to drink and have fun, so you stay here.
Right.
You don't actually like this shit.
Right.
And it's like, America has no more industry. It's like half of the people that would have been fucking coal miners and this, that, and the third, now they're fucking bloggers or they're fucking this, that, and the third.
Yeah.
People don't, that's the one thing. It's like everybody talks about like outrage and everything, but people don't realize that like a lot of outrage, let me turn off my fucking flashlight. For some reason it's on. But I feel like a lot of outrage in this country is actually based on like the economy. Like it literally is. Like it's like all these people that would have had like jobs, all these people who like grew up in West Virginia and this, that, and the third, or all these smaller towns and stuff like that, who would have just had like regular jobs back in the 70s or 80s. Those regular jobs would have given you a whole living.
Yeah.
It's like they didn't do those jobs anymore. They all went to college.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and then they went to college, and the things they went to college for didn't matter anymore by the time they got out.
Right.
And then they're seeing everything through social media.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So that entices them to want to do something that's social media-esque as well.
Yeah.
You know? So then you have almost like the .com bubble or the comedy bubble. You have just a written media bubble or just a media bubble in general that just explodes. And now there's a billion different blogs about a billion different things. And there's almost no real journalism anymore. There's just like yellow journalism. People just coming up with whatever topics they can that'll get people to look at them, and then they fact check it later.
Yeah.
You know?
I think that's a great point. I think I've never looked at it, that deeply, but I think I definitely noticed a change and a shift, with social media that kind of allowed people who would otherwise not have pursued certain things.
Oh, yeah.
As far as maybe being a comedian or being a artist that decided that said, hey, this looks like I can do this. This looks easy. I could do this. And so it was a lot of that, and then that also mixes in and crosses with auto-tune.
Yes. Yeah.
It, crosses where it's like, I can fix this note. I can sing better now.
Yeah.
So singers who wouldn't have been singers are now singers.
Yeah.
And, and they're getting inspired by, information that they're seeing, online and being like, this is accessible. I could do this.
Well, it's true. Like I was, in my last episode of Drop and Give Me 20, I was actually talking about the recent death of comedian Bob Saget. Make sure to check out that last episode. It'll be up here in the cards. So check that. Click on that. Check it out. Yeah, I know, right? Don't plug. Got to do what you got to do.
For sure.
R.I.P. Bob Saget. No, but he was a great comedian. But I was kind of going into talking about it and going into his fame, and I was basically talking about how his type of fame will kind of never be seen again. Like that type of like sitcom fame where the entire world knows who you are.
Yeah.
That type of fame, like those people who have that type of fame are starting to pass away now. Or they're starting to get really, really old and stuff like that. And things are changing. And it's like, yeah, man, I mean, gone are the days where the entire country or the world is on the exact same page.
Right.
Like each person has their own little thing to kind of dip into in their own world. And the way I explained it on the last podcast was I was like, Bob Saget in the late 80s to early 90s was like Jake Paul or Logan Paul now, except it wasn't just 13-year-olds that knew him. Your grandmother knew him. Your uncle knew him.
Yeah.
Your older brother knew him. You knew him. Your baby brother knew him. Everybody knew him. Everybody got together and sat down right at 8 o'clock to watch this one fucking thing. And they all talked about it. And if you didn't see it, you fucking missed it. And you just couldn't watch it again until it came into syndication fucking 5 years later. And that's just what it was, it was,
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Wow.
How crazy is that?
Wow. It's pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy. There's probably a few people who are like that, now, like maybe a Kevin Hart or a Dave Chappelle.
But even then, it's like they've been grandfathered in.
Yeah.
Kind of, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Kevin Hart had Soul Plane and shit, and all those things flopped. But
yeah.
You already kind of knew who they were, and then the internet exploded them. And they were already exploded, but exploded them a second time.
Yeah.
I'm talking like some dude who comes up now, you know what I mean, I'm not saying that he's not going to have people following him and paparazzi and all that type of shit. But, your grandma's going to look at that and be like, who is that?
Yeah.
Your uncle's going to look at it and be like, who's that?
Yeah.
They never did that with Martin Lawrence.
Yeah. That's a fact.
It's Martin Lawrence.
That's a fact. It's definitely different.
It's so interesting. So, in that type of climate, in that type of environment, how do you navigate, your own self-esteem and like keep going and shit like that? Because sometimes it can seem a little bleak.
I just focus on what I value and, what I'm truly trying to do, and that's just to live off of my passion and have, the people who want to hear what I'm able to do support me so I can just do it more. and do it better.
Yeah.
And so that's just what I focus on. Fame in a certain type of headspace, I don't focus on in a certain type of light. It's just more so about finding the supporters who love what I'm doing and want to fund it through their support.
I think that is one good thing, that it's like, through this all new media era, there is kind of a rise of an artistic middle class.
Yeah.
So now, like 20, 30 years ago, you were at the mercy of all these record labels or TV studios or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't fuck with you. You couldn't really go anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But now, whether they fuck with you, whether or not they fuck with you, you can keep making your own stuff. And you might blow up and you might be the next Joe Rogan or something, or the next Drake or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But if not, you can still get a couple thousand views, have a Patreon, and certain people who really fuck with you can pay a monthly subscription on top of you being monetized on your other stuff.
Yeah.
As well. So, there's ups and downs.
That is the silver lining there. With all of that. That is the goal. That is the goal, to use the tools that you have to, engage with the people who want to hear what you have to say.
That's what I'm saying. And that's why I'm saying this to you, dropping Give Me 20. Just like the video, okay?
Like the video.
Just subscribe to a nigga's account, all right?
Yeah.
Show me some love. I'm only trying to make the high 5 figures. I'm not even trying to go to 6. Hook a nigga up, all right? Show me some love, all right?
Show him some love. It's not that hard.
I'm trying to get my own apartment out here.
It's not that hard. It's not that hard. Share it. Like it. It's not that hard.
Exactly. Come on, man. Don't be a bitch ass. Share this shit. Nigga, stop playing with me. Stop playing with me. Share it.
That might be too aggressive.
Sorry.
Sorry. They might not like that.
Sorry. I'm hanging out. I've been in Brooklyn too long. I just roll up on niggas like the video, nigga. Put the iPhone to the head. Like the video, nigga.
Wow.
But yeah, man, it's been dope as fuck talking to you. And I also too wanted to ask you this, because I've lived in Brooklyn for a long time and everything. I know you lived here for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
You're rolling around with like Kota and shit like that, and other friends, and my boy Jermaine and everything. You've known them for a while.
Mm-hmm.
You guys are all like project dudes and all that shit.
Mm-hmm.
And hanging around with rappers, being from the projects and stuff like that. I feel like that's more of like kind of in the very like masculine vein and shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
So what made you want to be the silky smooth R&B nigga? What happened? What made you want to lick your lips and
son, I was just about to do that, and you just threw me off. I was like, my lips are kind of dry right now. I do. You said it right at the wrong. I maybe not want to do it no more. It's not cool.
Like what? What? What were you just like? Yo, this is the lane.
Listen, man. I don't know, because I was still rapping. And I still rap sometimes. And so, but I think I recognize that people, their ears perk up when they hear the voice, when they hear the singing. So I'm just like, okay, you just got to pay attention to those things, and so I think that's just kind of what happened. But also, everybody secretly wants to sing.
Yeah, that's true.
Everybody's secretly in the shower, they're singing.
Yeah,
everybody secretly has an R&B person inside of them. For real. Everybody wants to sing. Come on, don't play.
Yeah, we all want to
like
our inner D'Angelo.
Yeah. Oh, that's another. That's one of my favorite artists. Probably should have. Well, we didn't talk about that, but yeah, D'Angelo is dope. But yeah, everybody, So I just always wanted to sing. From a kid, when I couldn't sing. People would tell me that I can't sing.
they would actually like
certain family, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Really?
Yeah, you can't sing.
Wow.
I can sing. I'm telling you.
So that's a testament to following your dreams.
Follow your dreams.
For real.
Keep practicing. But, because I'm gonna say I'm fortunate, because sometimes you really can't sing.
Yeah.
So follow your dreams, but make sure that the skills and make sure it's overlapping. Make sure, something's happening, you know what I'm saying?
Make sure you got it, nigga, because if not, you're gonna be working at
Yeah,
Popeyes.
yeah. You know,
Which is fine.
yeah, because that's the thing that kind of, you know, not that it irks me, but it's be weird. Is like, I feel like there's a talent for recognizing when you have a talent.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Recognizing when you have it.
You think niggas
That's
have
a
too
talent.
much self-esteem nowadays?
I don't know. Everybody just, you know, the kids who came up in the 90s or whatever just had a lot of you can do it. We can do whatever. And it's like, no.
Do whatever you put your mind
you
to.
can't do whatever.
Yeah.
You can't do whatever.
Everybody was getting a trophy and you were also taught you can do everything.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, you know, you can't do whatever. You can't do whatever. You gotta have some natural skills, you know what I'm saying? And I think, you know, for me, you know, although it wasn't singing at first, I'm a musician. So, you know, I was playing the violin and I was finding the note.
You can find that key.
Yeah. And so that kind of just tuned my ear to help me find my note, you know, as a singer. And, you know, I just kept practicing and things like that. But, you know, I was already into music and things like that. So, yeah.
It's dope, man.
Yeah. People will tell you, though, you know, you got to know when to listen and when not to listen.
Yeah. Well, you know, kids, you heard it here. You can't do everything.
Don't
believe in yourself unless you got the skills.
Don't believe in yourself.
Quit, nigga. I'm talking to you, all right? I don't know who I'm talking to, but I know there's somebody watching this who needs to hear it. Nigga, quit, all right?
But also like his stuff.
But also like my shit.
But also like so he doesn't quit.
Yeah. Let's not lie. This interview's fire. Stop playing around.
Oh, man.
You know, yeah, man, like, I totally understand that. I think there is something to that, you know, figuring out what your talent is. But then there is also the whole thing of just like, you know, being in the industry, you see tons of people who do not have talent and will get shit. And I'm not even saying that on some bitter shit.
Yeah.
I'm saying it like to play devil's advocate of what you're saying as well. Too, because there's a certain element to playing this game. You know what I mean? And a lot of it really is just like a lot of kindness, I think, is one thing. Consistency is the major key. I think that's a huge like major key for this shit. Kindness, consistency, and also like, you know, working smart rather than hard. I mean, that's a big thing I think in any industry, but kind of knowing like the right places to go, you know, the right people to hang around, and also knowing when not to hang around. Knowing when not to hang around is actually might be the number one gift. Because if you hang around everywhere, you do everything, you'll waste a lot of time on a lot of shit. I lost years not knowing when to go home. You know?
Yo, that's deep. That's deep.
That's some real shit, man.
I would say this also, because I think with people who are trying to come up, there's always something I heard that stuck with me from somewhere that somebody said that we always try to network up, you know, but there's also networking from side to side. You know, look around you, look next to you. And in my case, it was, you know, a friend. You know, I always was going to support that person regardless of whatever. And, you know, so support your friends.
There you go. Even if they're trash. His wasn't, but
I didn't say that. Be honest with them, you know, help them figure out what's the thing that they're really good at so they can excel in that too. But also, consistency. There's a lot of people out here who have just enough talent or, you know, whatever, and they just have the consistency and they just and they're good to people, and that's going to get you far, you know. So for sure.
I definitely think that, man. There's just like there's so many things I think that goes into, you know, kind of artistry and everything. And a lot of it, it's just consistency and belief. Aside from that, though, I wanted to ask you, like, what are some things that kind of, you know, get you in the mood artistically? You know, I know you say you don't really listen to that much music.
Cocaine, man.
Cocaine? All right, perfect.
Nah.
In that case, I brought just the right thing.
Nah, I'm joking. My girlfriend's always telling me to stop saying shit like that. And she's like, yo, people gonna really think you be on cocaine. Stop doing that.
Well, no, go on.
Now, what are you about to say?
No, I was gonna ask you this. This is probably an even better question. You have a girl, right?
Yeah.
So being a an R&B dude.
Oh boy.
Right? Like, does it ever suck to date women as an R&B dude because you sing these things and they have this image of who you are as like a man, and almost you kind of putting yourself on a pedestal of a vessel for love and this, that, and shit. But then, you're still a man. So you do some fuck nigga shit. And now they're looking at you all types of weird ways and shit like that. How do you navigate that? Do you deal with that a lot? Is that an issue that you've had to deal with?
Yeah, that's something that I only realized like recently, and not to the same extent, but I think when you sing and you're like, oh, I'm just bleeding heart. I sing. It's like, soul, passion. And then, it's just like, oh, yeah, you're so sensitive and all of these things. There's that kind of idea. And then they deal with you and you're like, you're a robot, bro. What the, what happened? You show up differently in your music than you show up in person. It's like, that is an aspect of me that is also true to, I think, another side of me that I get to be when I'm singing. But I think, definitely in certain relationships, I was, kind of stiff and not the most affectionate. And you wouldn't expect that for somebody who's like singing and kind of like pouring out their emotions and things like that in a certain way. Yeah.
But do you think like kind of, not sharing yourself in a relationship, almost kind of helped you share yourself more in your music, because you kind of, you're maybe robotic, but it doesn't necessarily mean you don't have the affection. It just means you don't necessarily know how to show it and give it to a person, because you might be too scared, you might be just apprehensive, or you're raised a certain way with a certain type of rhetoric, but once you get into, your music or just your creativity, you could be a painter, a comedian, whatever. Do you think that gives you, more of a vessel to do that type of shit?
I never really connected it like that, but that's very possible.
There's a lot of R&B niggas who like, Chris Brown smacks bitches. You know what I mean? But even before then, let's go to David Ruffin. You know what I mean? And this type of shit. So it's like they make music for women, but there is kind of a history of a lot of R&B dudes not necessarily treating women right. So you think maybe they take all the intentions that they have for women in their real life that they don't give to women in their real life, and they put their intentions in the music?
I feel like there could be also some other aspects in there with that, because there's a certain ego that I feel like for those particular people who get to a certain space with it, that R&B stuff gives, or has, where it's like, I don't gotta treat you right. I'm a singer. You know what I'm saying? What do you talk about? I'm me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So maybe it could be some of that too. But maybe that is some of the intentions that they get to put out in the music, and they do feel it, but they don't express it when necessarily. I think there's just, as a creative period, there's just things that you don't express all the time, that when it's time to start writing or start doing your craft or start, pouring into, your art, that come out. So, it could be. Nice. Could be. It's a good point.
Yeah, I don't know. It just kind of popped into my head because well, number one, in this show, I haven't had that many musicians yet or anything, but I'm trying to have more. But, it's a comedy and hip-hop podcast. So, I definitely hadn't really thought about having that many R&B people, but I've always thought about that kind of dichotomy between like R&B and the way they treat women. I mean, there's tons of dudes that treat women like great. I'm not saying that, but there have been those times. So I was, it's just kind of intriguing.
Yeah, it's because it's persona, it's persona, and persona is just a mask you wear, and it's not necessarily who you are. And so there are a lot of people who show up. Just in the entertainment, you show up with a certain persona that might not necessarily be you off stage. Yeah. And so, it's aspects of you, but it's not the complete picture. And so
I agree, man.
There's a lot to it.
It's the same thing with like comedians, where a lot of people, when they meet a comedian, they'll be like, "You're not that funny off stage." And it's because it's like a lot of comedians, dude, they're sensitive people, they're quiet, they're thinkers. And that's why they do stand-up comedy, because they get to take all their thoughts they've been collecting throughout the day and then put them through a filter of only when they get to speak and break it down in this weird way.
Yeah.
So I totally understand what you're saying, man.
Yeah.
It's just an interesting thing when you're trying to date somebody.
Yeah, it can be, but I'm definitely matured in a way where I show up, in a certain way that allows me to navigate that a little differently. So,
was that something that you had to learn over time?
yeah, like I said, I just got hip to, few more than, two people had told me like, oh, you show up differently, you show up differently than your music, the way you sing and how you actually navigate is different. And it wasn't necessarily negative, but it was just like,
Yeah. They just it was negative, but they observed it.
Yeah, it's like, that's interesting.
Like, this is weird. Yeah.
Yeah, let me tune into that. What's going on with that, and just pay attention to myself and learn and grow. But there's certain artists who who when they write, they really are writing about themselves, and everything is but not necessarily. All my songs are not necessarily about me.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm just inspired, to write a story, because I feel like primarily I'm a storyteller. That's what I really truly feel like,
Yeah.
So certain songs have just been, this is an interesting story. Let me, write that down, and, I can see myself, put myself in this perspective. Let me sing from this perspective. And sometimes it's just that. Sometimes it's not even about me.
Yeah.
So
but where do you and where do you get these perspectives or these stories kind of from? Do you just make them up in your head, or you see two people in the hallway fighting? What's
yeah. Sometimes you make them up in your head. Sometimes you overhear. It could be something somebody says. Like, even the things that you're saying is interesting now. I don't know if it'll bubble up into a song. But now I'm going to write this. Now
we about to go viral.
Now I'm about to write a song called Persona.
There you go.
It's gonna be fire. Just wait. Now,
in all caps.
In all caps.
That's how you know someone is a real artist.
It's all caps. If you were to talk to me about your life, I might write a song called Phil Risden's Life.
There you go.
And you won't get no credit for that at all. No money at all. No.
I wouldn't have it any other way.
No splits.
Black men taking each other down. That's what needs to happen.
But yeah. Sometimes it's what people say is things like that. Some things I could imagine. I was writing love songs before I even had kissed a girl. So
yeah,
it was just
yeah.
Yeah,
who the fuck knows?
Yeah.
I feel you. That's 90% of art, and people won't necessarily tell you that. Artists won't tell you that, but 90% of art, when you're asking them like, where'd you get this idea? It's just who the fuck knows.
Yeah, sometimes it really is. It just maybe just sent from up above or down below.
It's just like, I'm me. This is our social programming or whatever environment we've been around. This is what you were raised in. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like you saying, like writing love songs before you even kissed a girl. It's like, that's because of you've heard a million fucking pop songs. A, B, C. That's easy as one.
Yeah.
All that Michael Jackson shit, Jackson 5 shit, fucking Justin Bieber. Fucking,
yeah.
All these like young ass kids were singing, and they didn't get no pussy before. You know what I mean? But they were singing about that shit. So it's
I remember when Justin Bieber, when he first came out, he dropped that song "Pussy, Pussy, Pussy." I was like, this kid is 8 years old. There's no way he knows what the hell he's talking about.
It was fire. I was like, yo, this 8-year-old Canadian is spitting right now. I think Ludo was on that track.
Yeah, he was.
Pussy, pussy.
Hey, y'all. I just realized what happened. That wasn't even purposeful, but yeah, it was a good song.
There you go. Let's see what else, man. I love how we're going all over the place, because this is kind of good. I think when I'm interviewing a lot of people, some people can kind of be a little bit rigid sometimes.
Yeah,
you don't necessarily know where to go, but with you, I don't know where I'm going, but I like the ride.
I don't give a fuck.
There we go. What's the deal? So I know you and Kota, you're close and everything like that, but do you guys have other people in your kind of like high school friend group that are doing any other things? Do you support any other friends from coming up and shit?
I think he has not necessarily high school, but he has friends around him that that I also know and things like that. But the thing about me and Kota is like, he's one of those friends where we don't speak all the time, but when we see each other, it's like, yo,
gotcha.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's not like I'm talking to him every day or anything like that. And so I don't know what's going on, as far as, certain things. I don't always know. And, that's cool, because that's just the kind of rapport that we have, So I'm just, he's one of those people where, when we link up, it's just respect, and we just vibe.
That's dope, man. I mean, like, just kind of, dealing with him and being on, you've been on like 2 of his albums, I think, right?
Yeah, two. Well, I was also on another one, but I wasn't Hello O'Shea yet. I was going as Old Soul. And
okay.
So, yeah, 3. Yeah. Like
okay.
3.
That's fucking dope. Like, I noticed he seems to like put a lot of, friends and stuff who are really good at what they do on their projects. Do you think that's important to do too? Like bring up your own people?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Support your friends.
Yeah.
Period. Support your friends, and yeah, I think that's important. I think that's something that I strive and aim to do, or will strive and aim to do when I get to, certain spaces, is to create opportunities. So, we could all create a network, and we could all create a community that's doing well and thriving. And yeah, I think that's what it's about.
All right, cool. So, we're kind of getting a little close to the end right now, but I have a quick question for you. Since we've been doing a lot of kind of like shop talk, a little, a decent amount of kind of like industry, artistic talk and stuff like that. What are 5 things you would tell somebody getting into the industry? Like 5 tips for navigating all this.
I guess, 1, play to your strengths.
Okay.
For sure. For me, in my case, it's definitely singing and things like that. There's other things that, like I said, I started out rapping, but my strength is more so, being a singer and, being a vocalist. Play to your strengths. Look around you, sometimes the people who have opportunities for you are right next to you. They're not necessarily above you.
Yeah.
They're not necessarily, somebody who's has all this success already. Sometimes, it's your friend.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's, the people on the same level, and they're you can build with them. You can build up to a certain space. Of course, being consistent and, being consistent and second guessing less, definitely less hesitation when opportunities knock. Because if you don't open the door, you will miss out. You never know. You never know where things are going to lead you. Even just how I met you, that was just me saying, yeah, I'll go out to Orlando.
Yeah.
Short notice.
Yeah.
Short notice. I'll do it.
Yeah. Or just being like, yeah, I'll do the podcast.
Yeah, and just being like, yeah, I'll do the podcast. You never know.
Yeah.
This right here is this is networking side to side. This is looking at the person next to you, and because I believe in people, and everybody I come across, I wish success. I wish you success, and I only imagine this being great. I only imagine this going far.
Yeah.
And so, look across and just what I said. What I said, because I'm about to say it the same thing.
Well,
but there was number 5, I think.
Yeah, I think that. Yeah,
and I mixed in 3 and 4 just now.
You got them.
Yeah,
I
but
think everybody got the gist.
Yeah, but number 5 would be, I guess, be honest with yourself on your journey. Keep being honest. Keep checking in with yourself, because you don't want to get into the situations and positions where you wake up and you're doing something that, integrity-wise is compromising. And so, just be honest with yourself and be honest with what you want and be honest with who you are. And put that first. Check in with yourself first, with these opportunities, because, I'm sure it can get weird, get strange. As an artist, I might get offered something that might not, look right and money-wise or whatever, and it could put me in a compromised predicament. So I have to check in with myself and be honest with the people and the energy of the people that I'm, connecting with. And so there's like 11 things I just said in there, so I don't know.
Hey, but you just dropped 11 gems though.
Yeah, there you
All
go.
right, I fuck with all of them. So, one more thing that I will ask you is a question I forgot to ask earlier. Is you were saying you used to rap and stuff like that, and with like nowadays with more like modern hip hop and stuff like hip hop rap and like R&B are definitely mixing a lot more than they used to. Like before, in our day when we were like kids, you had the rapper featuring the R&B person. Now you just have the one artist and they do both roles.
Yeah.
So how do you necessarily feel like that affects the genre, like both genres? And then do you think it's a good thing, bad thing?
I think it's a great thing, and I think that it is, though it's become more mainstream and more popular, it's something that has always existed. The connection between R&B and hip hop has
totally.
always been super strong. Even some of the artists that first inspired me, when I said, when I spoke about a Lauryn Hill, she was a person who could switch back and forth with ease and be very good at both things, and that's what inspired me. I was like, I want to do that. I want to sing. I want to rap. I want to be a sapper or a ringer or whatever however you combine those. And so even with a T-Pain, because he was a rapper turned singer, and he had certain tracks where he was just rapping, and so I think it's cool. I think what happened though is that the rap became singing. Like rappers don't just rap.
Not anymore. It's gotten way more melodic.
They're way more melodic.
They Drakeified themselves.
They Drakeified themselves. So when Drake came along, it kind of sped up that process even more, and
it just changed.
It just changed, and I think it's cool. I think it's fun. There's still rappers out there who do just rap, and so
like
just bars, and that's cool. I think it's cool. I think it's fun and interesting, and so power to the people who are moving in that way and pushing it forward.
All right. So to all the young artists out there, if you feel like Drakeifying yourself, Drakeify away. Do your thing.
Drakeify away.
There we go. All right. Well, I guess we're going to end the podcast here. We've had a lot of fun, man. Are there any upcoming projects? I did see one on your YouTube channel that said you might be releasing soon.
Wait, what did you see, man?
It's a yellow film cover or whatever. It said upcoming on your YouTube.
What?
Am I crazy? I'll cut this part out.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
YouTube is snitching. I think YouTube's the feds, yo.
Maybe, along with Vlad.
Vlad
and YouTube are working together.
He's on YouTube,
he
so it makes sense. Nah.
My third eye is open, bro.
Yeah, but I am working on some things. I'm going to put together a little, EP. I want to give something that really is R&B, because I honestly feel like, although I'm kind of seen as R&B, or is being seen as R&B as of late, I feel like some of my music has not really stuck into like one box.
Gotcha.
And so I want to see what happens when I, go straight R&B, baby oil.
There you go.
Shirt button, no shirt at all.
Yeah. Just go for it.
In the rain, just
yeah.
all of that. Just let's see what happens.
Fuck it, why not? I've seen some of the videos too.
Yeah,
and they're always they're really, really good. Man.
Cool, thank
Do
you.
You direct those yourself?
Some of them, yes, I have.
Wow.
Yeah, some of them, yes, I have, or edited them myself. Yeah. I think that's definitely one thing about me when it came to music. I want to learn everything, how to do everything, and then that kind of evolves into like your cover art, and then
of course,
then my video, how I'm going to direct. So you just end up kind of just doing everything.
Yeah, I think, and it's worked out for you. It looks really good. I enjoyed all that stuff, man. And you guys should check it out as well too. He has tons of videos on YouTube. You can follow him on Instagram. You want to tell these people where they can find you online, Insta, and
you
all
can
that stuff?
find me at Phil Risden.
Thank you for the plug.
Like, subscribe. No, you can find me at hello.oshay. That is OSHAY. And that's it. Look me up on Spotify or wherever you listen to music at. And yeah, just vibe with me.
Yeah. And that's the same for Instagram and stuff as well, right?
Yeah, Instagram at hello.o'shea. I was gonna say TikTok, but it's like, come on.
Yeah,
bro,
you don't put anything.
I'm not really, man, not really.
you,
but it's up there. You can find me. Hello, O'Shea.
TikTok's for the kids. I respect it, but
Yeah.
we're not. There's different lanes. Everybody's
it's
in their own
different
lanes. Nothing's better or worse. It's
Yeah.
just, it is what it is.
It is what it is.
All right, man. Well, thank you. Make sure to follow Hello O'Shea, and please listen to his music. He has a lot of great shit. As you guys know, you can easily follow me on Instagram at Phil Risden. You can also follow my Instagram account for my comedy company, my LLC. We just became official, baby.
Hey.
Yeah, man. Follow me at
Congratulations.
Grove Street Comedy, just Grove Street Comedy. I was about to say Grove Street Comedy LLC, like I'm paying my taxes, because I'm official now. And that's how we do. But follow me there at either one of those accounts or both. Show a nigga some love. Please like this video. Please subscribe. And, if you're listening on any podcast platforms, make sure to give me a 5-star rating and a nice little review. This has been Dropping Give Me 20 with Phil Risden and Hello O'Shea.
Peace.
Peace.
Wow, did I say peace early?
A little bit.
Yeah, my bad.